today is the 1-year anniversary of the Patrick Star Show, and so I thought I could celebrate by giving you all a deeper dive, which is my Patrick Star Show themed parody of A Closer Look, since, you know, Patrick and Squidina live underwater. And with me, I got my three most favorite talk show assistants here. I got Patrick Star, SpongeBob SquarePants, and Star Butterfly, because I didn't have Squidina. But at least Star is wearing a squid themed outfit. Secondary Bob's Burgers cast member Jay Johnston was fired following the January 6th assault on the Capitol building, which coincided with the 10-year anniversary of Bob's Burgers. For more on this, it's time for a deeper dive. Go. Today, I'm going to read to you the news about this from an internet article from TVOvermind.com. Connor Dillon writes, why Bob's Burgers actor Jay Johnston was fired. Bob's Burgers, near contestant for the throne of the best animated sitcom along with Family Guy, The Simpsons, American Dad, and a growing list of others every season. New shows that appear to come out every season on every network always appeared to be different in their own way, but viewers could never help but compare animated sitcoms. Like most animated sitcoms, Bob's Burgers follows the structure of a family and their exploits in and out of their own restaurant named after the father of the house. Conveniently, the family lives above the restaurant that they operate, which happens to be, or at least is assumed to be, a New Jersey shore town full of a boardwalk or a wharf, as the townspeople call it, as is officially the Wonder Wharf. Below, we've gone into detail on one of America's favorite animated families, the Belchers from Bob's Burgers, and how Bob's Burgers fired voice actor Jay Johnston due to his involvement with the Capitol riots. Bob's Burgers was the first of now several animated sitcoms involving creator Lauren Bouchard, whose other credits besides Bob's Burgers include Home Movies, Central Park, Lucy the Daughter of the Devil, that truly hit a strong viewership. Central Park can be recognized for its art style very similar to Bob's Burgers, while Home Movies and Lucy the Daughter of the Devil also had very unique art styles, but more low budget compared to Bob's Burgers or Central Park. The main reason these shows had the art styles they did was due to the fact that the shows were on Adult Swim, and at the time, the network was still locking itself in as one of the strangest cable networks ever created. Home Movies and Lucy, and that also, along with the fact that Home Movies and Lucy the Daughter of the Devil, their art style looks more often Bob's Burgers because they because they have a much lower animation budget, and I guess Rick and Morty is just happens to be one of the few Adult Swim shows to already come prepared with a high art budget and well-known talented people behind it. The biggest and Home Movies, they also had H. John Benjamin. Oh, also H. John Benjamin was a main character in Home Movies, and one of the recurring cast members of that show was Laura Silverman, who also worked with H. John Benjamin, and they were both main characters in Dr. Katz, Professional Therapist, which is also, I may add, Laura Silverman's first acting credit. Laura Silverman is the lesser-known older sister of Sarah Silverman, and together they voiced the Pesto twins in Bob's Burgers. Andy Pesto and Ollie Pesto. Yeah, even though Laura Silverman doesn't work as much as Sarah Silverman, I still really wish Laura Silverman could use Bob's Burgers as an opportunity to take big roles in animated films like her youngest sister Sarah already has with Wreck-It Ralph. You know what else would be super cool? If they both got to be in Wreck-It Ralph 3 together. My mom agrees with me that it would kind of be a cool idea. It would be a fun idea to have Laura Silverman play the main villain who happens to sound similar to Penelope. So back to home movies. Lucy, the daughter of the devil, and Bob's Burgers. The biggest link between these three shows, besides the fact that they were created or headed by Lauren Bouchard, was the inclusion of the usual lead voice, H. John Benjamin, who voices the coach from Home Movies, Bob from Bob's Burgers, and Satan from Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil. Bob's Burgers has shown that it's starting to be as current as South Park, with a movie coming out and even a short video of COVID-19. Oh, I also mentioned H. John Benjamin and Larry Murphy were both main voice actors of another funny Adult Swim show, Assy McGee, before they were Bob's Burgers together. Assy McGee, that's funny because it's about this guy there's this cop who's just a talking, he's just a talking butt and legs. But no, seriously, back to the main story at hand here. Recently it was announced, not long after images surfaced that featured Bob's Burgers' famous character, Jimmy Pesto's voice actor, Jay Johnston, at the Capitol building riots a year ago this month, that the actor would no longer be part of the show going forward. Details have come from all corners of entertainment and the country in general, featuring celebrities and others at the Capitol riots. Ooh, celebrities. Really makes you wonder what other celebrities made the wrong choice of participating in Capitol riot. Specific details may not have been released about the situation, but when it comes to keeping all negative elements away from projects of any kids, when it comes to keeping all negative elements away from projects of any kinds, I think there might be a typo there for CNN. There's no longer a tolerance policy in Hollywood. One strike and you're out. It's been that way ever since. We've had no tolerance policy. I know we have had no tolerance policy for these things ever since the Me Too movement started in the fall of 2017. So you best do what you can to avoid committing sexual harassment or misconduct of any kind. Unfortunately, it takes events like this in order for Hollywood to be truthful and move accurate. Also, unfortunately, this is really only to protect those studios or companies that such project, but everything comes at a cost, I suppose. Overall, the team behind Bob's Burgers was quick to have their actor fired to avoid any negativity that could be associated with the show's behavior of Jay Johnston. Well, of course they need to protect the studios from the negative behaviors of their actor. If the top executives of the studio actually have a soul and care about producing quality content for whoever their target audience is, they definitely gotta punish the outliers who committed a terrorist attack against their own nation's government. Especially when Jay Johnston could have spent that time much better. Especially when Jay Johnston could have spent that time much better by celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Bob's Burgers with everybody else. Who knows? Like, even if they were like all stuck at home at the beginning of 2021, who knows what the Bob's Burgers cast and crew was up to at that time before they knew about the Capitol riots on TV. For all we know, they could have actually been trying to have a positive celebration of a further animated series running 10 years before news of the Capitol riot broke out. I don't work on the show, but I remember that day I was also trying to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Bob's Burgers peacefully and quietly before I knew that any Capitol riots had occurred that were trying to overturn the 2020 election. Now for the future of Bob's Burgers. Just recently, Bob's Burgers creator assumed the role of Bill Hader's usual character of Mickey, the bank robber, when Hader himself wasn't available due to schedule conflict, but the episode was already animated, so the character was included without the original voice actor. This happened again in Bob's Burgers movie, except they found a different actor to voice Mickey who wasn't Bill Hader, so Lauren Bouchard wasn't voicing him anymore in the movie. And Jimmy Pesto also appears in the Bob's Burgers movie, but he doesn't get any lines since Jay Johnston was fired, and they having it figured out if they want to have a new person voice Jimmy Pesto or just find another way to write him out. Because if they did write Jimmy Pesto out, well, then we'd have a bigger chance to then that would give us more chances to have episodes, to give Trevor some episodes without Jimmy Pesto, like when he visited Bob's Burgers while Jimmy Pesto was out on vacation in What About Blob. It would be I think it'd be pretty interesting to see how Trevor and the three Pesto children, Jimmy Jr., Andy, and Ollie Pesto, would get along without their dad, which honestly I don't think would really be too much different from episodes they already had before Bob's Burgers, but from episodes they've had in the 11 seasons they made in the first 10 years of Bob's Burgers before Jimmy Pesto participated in the Capitol Riot and got fired. Because they've already had plenty of episodes without Jimmy Pesto when they're interacting with Tina, Jean, and Louise, the Belcher kids at school. So I think they'll be fine. They may lose their father, but they also may not. Bob's Burgers may not be as beloved as some of the earlier mentioned animated sitcoms such as Family Guy or The Simpsons, but Bob's Burgers still featured a very distinct family with unique members from the very earliest episodes, which have helped the show carry on for as long as it has, with other such contenders still competing for the throne. Bob's Burgers has been surprisingly dark at times, so it wouldn't be much of a surprise if the show killed off the character in the worst way possible in order to show their dissatisfaction with the voice actor and his choices. However, they can handle the move of the voice actor and his hiring from Bob's Burgers on screen. You can be certain that Bob will be slightly joyful at the loss of Jimmy Pesto, and the show will handle it with a grande sense of comedy. Or it could be like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode Ding Dong, when Raymond Holt thought he was happy that Madeline Bunch was dead, but then he also missed having a rival with whom to argue after it was all over. Bob once said, "I don't negotiate with terrorists," and sheesh, can't Bob, and now it's kind of, it's harsher in hindsight now that Jimmy Pesto's voice actor has become a terrorist in real life on the 10-year anniversary of Bob's Burgers. I'm sure the cast and crew and the studio producing Bob's Burgers were fine with. I'm sure they used to be okay with. I'm sure they used to be partly okay with Jay Johnston supporting Donald Trump, but they couldn't tolerate him anymore once he crossed the line of sedition. I mean, think about it. Jimmy Pesto's so bad, even Mickey the bank robber doesn't like his pizza. He'd rather eat some of Bob's Burgers.
I hope this standoff ends pizzafully.
Pepper, oh no, he didn't!
That was the worst pizza I ever had. Jimmy Pesto's is crap.
You
guys are amazing. Best human shields ever. Whoa, look out! Just kidding. Oh my God, no, look out! I'm kidding. These burgers are good. This is great, huh? Look at me. Burger in one hand, beer in the other. Living life. This is how you go to jail.
Yeah, and no one got hurt.
Well, that too.
Overall, Bob's Burgers rightfully fired the voice actor Jimmy Pesto, portrayed by Johnston, appropriately by not defending the actor or any reason he could have possibly had for taking part in such events that had happened at the Capitol building a year ago, and the show should carry on just fine without him. I mean, it already has for a while, because Bob's Burgers has had many episodes without Jimmy Pesto that still shows kids interacting with Bob's kids at Wagstaff School. I mean, in later seasons, Jimmy Pesto was, later seasons of Bob's Burgers don't really show much of Jimmy Pesto, Hugo, Ron, or Mort. All the people who do their voices are free to have bigger parts in other productions when most episodes of Bob's Burgers after season 5 don't feature them. Yeah, given that, it would be very interesting to see how Bob's Burgers could deal with the absence of Jimmy Pesto in season 13 or 14 after the Bob's Burgers movie. And how Trevor may have to run Jimmy Pesto's Pizzeria without Jimmy. I bet if the police ever caught Jimmy Pesto in the midst of another insurrection like this, he'd probably say,
I hope this standoff ends peacefully.
"This has been a deeper dive. Co.